Job chapter 20 to 23. Zophar's second response to Job. Then Zophar the Naamathite replied, I must reply because I am greatly disturbed. I have had to endure your insults, but now my spirit prompts me to reply. Don't you realize that from the beginning of time, ever since people were first placed on the earth, the triumph of the wicked has been short-lived, and the joy of the godless has been only temporary. And though the pride of the godless reaches to the heavens, and their heads touch the clouds, yet they will vanish forever, thrown away like their own dung. And those who knew them will ask, where are they? They will fade like a dream and not be found. They will vanish like a vision in the night. And those who once saw them will see them no more. Their families will never see them again. Their children will beg from the poor, for they must give back their stolen riches. And though they are young, their bones will lie in the dust. They have enjoyed the sweet taste of wickedness, letting it melt under their tongue. They've savored it, holding it long in their mouths. But suddenly the food in their bellies turns sour, a poisonous venom in their stomach, and they will vomit the wealth that they have swallowed. God will not let them keep it down. They will suck the poison of cobras. The viper will kill them. They will never again enjoy streams of olive oil or rivers of milk and honey. They will give back everything they've worked for. Their wealth will bring them no joy. For they oppressed the poor and left them destitute. They foreclosed on their homes. They were always greedy and they were never satisfied. And nothing remains of all the things that they dreamed about. Nothing is left after they finish gorging themselves. So therefore their prosperity will not endure. In the midst of plenty, they will run into trouble and will be overcome by misery. May God give them a bellyful of trouble. May God rain down his anger upon them. And when they try to escape an iron weapon, a bronze-tipped arrow will pierce them. The arrow is pulled from their back, and the arrowhead glistens with their blood. The terrors of death are upon them. Their treasures will be thrown into the deepest darkness. A wildfire will devour their goods, consuming all that they have left. The heavens will reveal their guilt, and the earth will testify against them. A flood will sweep away their house. God's anger will descend on them in torrents. And this is the reward that the God gives the wicked. It is the inheritance decreed. Job's seventh speech, a response to Zophar. And then Job spoke again. Listen closely to what I am saying. That's one consolation you can give me. Bear with me and let me speak. And after I have spoken, you may resume mocking me. My complaint is with God, not with people. I have good reason to be so impatient. Look at me and be stunned. Put your hand over your mouth in shock. When I think about what I am saying, I shudder. My body trembles. Why do the wicked prosper, growing old and powerful? They get to live to see their children grow up and settle down. They enjoy their grandchildren. Their homes are safe from every fear, and God does not punish them. Their bulls never fail to breed. Their cows bear calves and never miscarry. They let their children frisk about like lambs. Their little ones skip and dance. They sing with tambourine and harp. They celebrate to the sound of the flute. They spend their days in prosperity, and then they go down to the grave in peace. And yet they say to God, Go away. We want no part of you or your ways. Who is the Almighty, and why should we obey him? What good will it do to us to pray? They think their prosperity is of their own doing, but I will have nothing to do with that kind of thinking. Yet the light of the wicked never seems to be extinguished. Do they ever have trouble? Does God distribute sorrows to them in anger? Are they driven before the wind like straw? Are they carried away by the storm like chaff? No, not at all. Well, you say, at least God will punish their children. But I say he should punish the ones who sin, so that they understand his judgment. Let them see their destruction with their own eyes. Let them drink deeply of the anger of the Almighty, for they will not care what happens to their family after they have died. But who can teach a lesson to God, since he judges even the most powerful? One person dies in prosperity, completely comfortable and secure, the picture of good health, vigorous and fit. Another person dies in bitter poverty, having never tasted the good life, but both are buried in the same dust, and both are eaten by the same maggots. Look, I know what you're thinking. I know the schemes you plot against me. You will tell me of the rich and the wicked people whose houses have vanished because of their sins. But ask those who have been around, and they will tell you the truth. Evil people are spared in times of calamity, and are allowed to escape disaster. No one criticizes them openly or pays them back for what they've done. And when they are carried to the grave, an honor guard keeps watch at their tomb. A great funeral procession goes to the cemetery. Many pay their respects as the body is laid to rest, and the earth gives sweet repose. So how can your empty cliches comfort me? For all of your explanations are lies. Eliphaz's third response to Job. Then Eliphaz the Temanite replied, Can a person do anything to help God? Can even a wise person be helpful to God? Is it any advantage to the Almighty if you are righteous? Would it be any gain to him if you were perfect? Is it because you're so pious that he accuses you and brings judgment against you? No, it's because of your wickedness. There's no limit to your sins. For example, you must have lent money to your friend and demanded clothing as security. Yes, you stripped him to the bone. You must have refused water to the thirsty and food to the hungry. You probably think the land belongs to the powerful and only the privileged have a right to it. You have sent widows away empty-handed and crushed the hopes of orphans, and that is why you're surrounded by traps and tremble from sudden fears. That is why you cannot see in the darkness, and waves of water cover you. God is so great, higher than the heavens, higher than the farthest stars. But you reply, that's why God can't see what I'm doing. How can he judge through the thick darkness? For thick clouds swirl about him, and he cannot see us. He's way up there, walking on the vault of heaven. Will you continue on the old paths where evil people have walked? They were snatched away in the prime of life, the foundation of their lives washed away. For they said to God, Leave us alone. What can the Almighty do to us? And yet he was the one who filled their homes with good things. So I will have nothing to do with that kind of thinking. The righteous will be happy to see the wicked destroyed, and the innocent will laugh in contempt. They will say, Look how our enemies have been destroyed. The last of them have been consumed in the fire. Submit to God, and you will have peace, and then things will go well for you. Listen to his instructions and store them in your heart. And if you return to the Almighty, you will be restored. So clean up your life. If you give up your lust for money and throw your precious gold into the river, the Almighty himself will be your treasure. He will be like precious silver. And then you will take delight in the Almighty, and you will look up to God, you will pray to him, and he will hear you. And you will fulfill your vows to him. You will succeed in whatever you choose to do, and the light will shine on the road ahead of you. If people are in trouble and you say, Help them, God will save them. Even sinners will be rescued. They will be rescued because your hands are pure. Job's eighth speech, a response to Eliphaz. And then Job spoke again. My complaint today is still a bitter one, and I try hard not to groan aloud. If only I knew where to find God, I would go to his court. I would lay out my case, I would present my arguments, and then I would listen to his reply and understand what he says to me. Would he use his great power to argue with me? No, I think he would give me a fair hearing. Honest people can reason with him, so I would be forever acquitted by my judge. I go east, but he is not there. I go west, but I cannot find him. I do not see him in the north, for he is hidden. I look to the south, but he is concealed. But he knows where I am going. And when he tests me, I will come out pure as gold. For I have stayed on God's paths. I have followed his ways, and I have not turned aside. I have not departed from his commands, and have treasured his words more than daily food. But once he made his decision, who can change his mind? Whatever he wants to do, he does. And so he will do to me whatever he has already planned. for he controls my destiny. No wonder I am so terrified in his presence. When I think of it, terror grips me. God has made me sick at heart, and the Almighty has terrified me. Darkness is all around me. Thick, impenetrable darkness is everywhere. Psalm 140, for the choir director, a psalm of David. O Lord, rescue me from evil people. Protect me from those who are violent, those who plot evil in their hearts and stir up trouble all day long. Their tongues sting like a snake. The venom of a viper drips from their lips. O Lord, keep me out of the hands of the wicked. Protect me from those who are violent, for they are plotting against me. The proud have set a trap to catch me. They've stretched out a net, they've placed traps all along the way. And I said to the Lord that you are my God. Listen, O Lord, to the cries of mercy. O sovereign Lord, the strong one who rescued me, you protected me on the day of battle. Lord, do not let evil people have their way. Do not let their evil schemes succeed, or they will become proud. Let my enemies be destroyed by the very evil they have planned for me. Let burning coals fall down on their heads. Let them be thrown into the fire or the watery pits from which they cannot escape. Do not let liars prosper here in our land. Instead, cause great disasters to fall on the violent. But I know the Lord will help those they persecute. He will give justice to the poor. Surely righteous people are praising your name, for the godly will always live in your presence.